had made a promise to myself that I was going to be independent and not need um, a man to support me in any sort of a way, and that I was going to not ever fully trust, I guess, because the prior to that, the two most important men in my life were, father and uh, ex-husband, had not protected my heart, and so from the abuse that I experienced, it just hindered my relationship with my husband and until I found Christ. And then he taught me that how to forgive and to let go of what had happened to me in the past, and that he was my protector now, and he was going to guard my heart, and that I could trust him, and that no matter what I experienced, whether it was through my children or my husband or friends or whoever, that he was going to work it out to good in accordance with his plan for me. And so I was able to surrender that to him.
That's when my wife Amanda said that, she had been talking to our neighbor, Mr. Les, who is also a member here at Riverside, and that we had friends who we knew from the past who also went to this church, and she said, he invited us, we should go. And I said, okay. So that Sunday we woke up and we went. And all of the things that I had been missing, like feeling convicted, asking God to move in my life, asking for God's presence, and asking for God to reveal things to me throughout that service, that first time we went to church. And I heard it so clearly. And what I heard surprised me, and I'm still grappling with how that's going to, manifest itself over time. But God said something to me that he hadn't said to me since I was a teenager, which is teach. He said that, I want you to teach, just teach. So I was like, okay, teach. What does that mean? So, just kind of struggled with that for a little while. But every single time we went back to church, I kept hearing that same calling, that same voice, which is something I had heard when I was younger, but had spent most of my life ignoring, thinking that maybe it was just a prideful thing. Like, who am I to teach? Especially when it comes to God's word and something so important. So it wasn't long after we started going to Riverside that Amanda made the decision to be baptized. And watching her be baptized, and even prior to, we would have conversations at night where she was fired up. She was studying God's word for the first time. I had a bit of a history in doing a lot of independent study of God's word, but she was finding it and asking questions, so we were looking it up together and having these great conversations. And the whole time I kept telling her, I said, I hope you understand I'm not there yet, but I want to be. And I didn't quite know what that meant, but that was how I felt. So I watched her be baptized, and it wasn't very long after that I realized that my stubbornness in submitting to God's will was inhibiting me from seeing things clearly, from feeling the Spirit within me, from really trying to step up and fulfill what God was calling me to do when he said to teach.
What's next for our family as new Christians? I look forward to the day that my children make the decision to be baptized and to follow Jesus. I am encouraging them, and we talk to them about it, but I want it to be their decision. I want them to understand the meaning behind it and to really make that decision on their own. I'm excited to be a part of Riverside and the family, and I'm excited that God is going to use me however he sees fit to help grow the church and to help bring people to him. So I'm just living day to day, praying, staying in the Word, continuing to grow in faith and trust. And I'm just going to let God lead me wherever He wants me to go.